What's up, guys? Straight from the chest. I am Justin Groth, your host, your leader on this fearless podcast. Number one in the world. No, not yet. But look, guys, I just wanted to take this time and thank you, as I always do, because it definitely means a lot to me that you actually take time out of your day to sit there and listen to me. Definitely appreciate it. And I just want to give thanks for this day because honestly, there's a lot of things in my life that I'm thankful for apart from all of my family's health and longevity. I really am thankful for all the small things like showers. I mean, something as small that we take for granted, like a shower. Thank you for the showers. Thank you for all the small things like the food and our vehicles that we transport ourselves in every single day. Those are things that we take for granted, and we should, obviously. I mean, we shouldn't, but we do because we're dumb humans. And apart from all that, the number one thing that I'm grateful for and I'm thankful for, aside from my family's health, because that's really number one, because I'm nothing without my family. I don't think most of us are. But it's the fact that I have a talent and you have a talent. And some of you may have more than one talent. You may have two talents. But I'm thankful that God actually instilled in me something that I could breed into existence, that I could actually be useful for on this planet. And I'm thankful that I'm not just regular. And I don't mean that with any conceit or arrogance behind it. I mean it from a confident and convicted standpoint. I have a talent, just like you have a talent. Our talents look different, but we have talents. And I think obviously a part of this life's existence is for us to find that talent, whatever it is, whatever we're innately good at, whatever we feel naturally compelled to do, regardless of a paycheck. Because that's a true talent when you don't have to be controlled by the amount of money that you make for the thing that you do. And I'm not saying that it's not something that you should work towards in terms of being financially stable and actually providing financial wealth to your family and people aside from your family, because there's a lot of good you can do with money. But I'm telling you that if you don't hone in on your talent and you don't centralize around that talent, that you'll never be the most successful and the most financially capable in your life. For good reason, right? Because God didn't give you a talent to say, well, just do this and you're gonna be all right. He gave you that talent because that is your gift. That is your seed, and that's something that you can benefit everybody around you with. But all too often, and I think it starts with school. I think school has faulted us, myself included. I think that when we're kids in school, we don't get the chance or the authority to say, I want to do this because we have to abide by a curriculum. And so we get subconsciously suppressed in what we really want to do. And even though you're a kid and you're, let's say anywhere from the ages of, 6, 7 years old to like 18, you don't really know what you want to do, right? And even if you think you know what you want to do, it's going to change. That's going to change by the time you're 20 something years old or even 19 or 20. But all too often we get fit into a construct that is we have to produce because it's what everybody else is doing. We have to produce in the ways that everybody else is producing. And we're constantly suppressed in school with regards to that. And that is this stuff that I hate. I hate that. But we all have to go through. All of us went through it. All of us. And maybe the school system will change for kids in the future, but right now it's about following a curriculum, and we get suppressed and we don't really branch out into what we're great at. And then that follows us into our adulthood. See, what we're not recognizing is we develop patterns in our childhood that follow us into our adulthood. And I remember when I was in school, and I remember the teachers, what they would tell my mom and my dad at parent-teacher conferences, that Justin, and this is not me tooting my horn at all, but Justin is super smart. And I could never understand what they meant by that, because I failed tests. I didn't have a high GPA, guys. I think I hardly ever made it past a 2.5 ever in my life. But yet these teachers, these same teachers that obviously I wasn't doing well in their classes with, were telling my parents that this guy is smart. And there's something about him that there's something about him such and such and such, right? I don't want to get into it, but that is something that I didn't process with me because it didn't show up on paper. And that's really what mattered at the moment, right? What do I look like on paper? What's my report card look like? How well am I doing these classes? That's going to directly translate into who I am or my smarts as a person. And that's where we get convoluted, because that's not really your IQ. What you do in a math class and how you produce in social studies and what grade you get on a test, it's futile in real life. It's all futile. And you and I as adults, we understand this now. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but if I was to take what they said and then see what I am on paper, it didn't make sense. It was a contradiction. And so I never really believed that. I never really believed that I was smart, because yeah, the teacher said it, but my grades never showcased it. And I don't have a learning disability. I mean, I'm ADD, but who's not ADD? I'm a guy. All guys are ADD. Squirrel, boom. Change the subject. I mean, it's there with all of us. And if you're not ADD, I don't know, then you're just not special, because everybody, not saying that you're not special, but every person that I've ever known with ADD, ADHD, all that junk, they're super smart. But here's the token. They're selectively smart. I believe that I'm selectively smart. I believe that I'm super equipped and more than smart enough to handle the task that God gave me. But because in school, I never rode that wave, because it's what I had to produce for the curriculum, and I wasn't, like we all do, I wasn't channeling in on what I'm really good at. And I didn't find it out until 15, 20 years later. But I knew all along. I knew that there's something in me that loves people. But it wasn't just people, it was the way that I can affect people. And it's not necessarily through my voice. It's not the things that I say. It's when you and I are having a conversation. And I'm not saying that everybody takes well to me, because they don't. Trust me. But there's something about when I get someone in my presence and we talk about something, and there's something to be discussed, and there's something to be worked on and find a solution for, there's a way that I can move and affect that person and actually infect them to become the catalyst to their change. And it doesn't happen with everybody, but that's something that I've always been good at. Always. Never really been good in sports. Never really been good in academics. But when it came to people, that was something that I just had an authentic draw towards. So that was me. That may not be you. You may be great with your hands, work with your hands. You may be an awesome architect. You may may think outside the box and work for NASA someday. That may be you. But here's what I have to say. If you always allow people around you, i.e. teachers, family members, etc., to formulate you into what they think you should be instead of what you are geared for, then you'll never make it to the top. And when I say top, I don't mean top of the food chain or top of the financial position in your financial position. I mean top of the position in spirit, in physical sustainability. Emotional sustainability, because there's something to be said about that. If you're thriving in life and you just have financially everything you need but nothing more, you're so much more joyful and have more to give others that come in contact with you because you're thriving. And that's your wavelength that you're thriving on. That doesn't equate to monetary wealth. That doesn't equate to having big houses and cars, even though those things are great. What matters is that you're thriving in your passion and you're having fun at what you do. And you're making a change and you're feeling that reward all the time. See, some people never ever get to feel that reward. Some people never ever get to experience someone else telling them, "You changed my life," and mean it. Like, mean it. Some people live their entire existence never actually benefiting others in an exponential way. And I believe that it's because they don't live into their talent. If you're not changing people in some format around you and making their lives better, and it comes from an authentic expression in your heart, then I don't really believe that you're falling full-fledged into your purpose and your talent. And it may take you long before you recognize what that talent is. You may be on the other end thinking, "Justin, I don't even know what my talent is. How do I find out?" And I've said it before, guys. It's something that you inherently think about all the time. It's something that you would do for free. It's something that you would get up out of bed and do for free. And actually feel joyful doing it. That is what you need to focus on. But that might not equate to a large paycheck. But I think that if that is the thing that doesn't equate to a large paycheck, I think you're on the right track. You may call me crazy for thinking that, but I really believe that most often than not, what the heart wants and what your passion is doesn't mean that you're going to be monetarily sprouting when you do it. But you don't need to be. Because see, at the moment, that's what's giving your spirit thrust and impetus. And that's what's giving your spirit energy. And you are your spirit. Whether you believe in an afterlife or not, you have a spirit, guys. And that's what's breathing onto your spirit. And that's what's giving you motivation and continuation. And that is the name of the game. That's the name of life. Is to consistently produce on that measure. So yes, maybe financially right now, the thing that you love doesn't match up. But obviously never lose sight of it. Continue with your 9 to 5 or your 7 to 4 or 8 to whatever. And do this on the side. But never lose hope in it. Because that thing is going to be the thing that's going to step you out into your thrust, into your thrive. We all need that to continue living. You may think you can live or run your 8 to 5 that you're just kind of regular at. And like, I'm just going to do this for 30 years. I'm going to retire. My 401k, I got good pension, etc., etc. I got dental, blah, blah, blah. That's great. But after those 30 years are done, you're going to be so drained. You're not going to have the energy to produce on your talent. And then when you die, you're not going to make God pleased with what you get done with the talents that He's given you. There's a verse there's a verse in the Bible about that. I don't know the verse, but I heard it on one of my favorite pastor's sermons. He was talking about that. And it's not my words, guys. It's not my words, it's his. I don't know, and I say his, I mean God's. I don't know the exact phraseology or the scripture it is, but I'm sure that if you Google something regarding that, like Google good and faithful servant, something like that. I should know that. But if you Google that, I'm sure you'll find the passage of the scripture that reinstates if God gives you a talent and you don't use it, he's not going to be pleased, because that talent was there in you to glorify him, to work through his brothers or through your brothers and sisters on this earth, which are his kids. It's all in unity. But if you succumb to what everybody else wants you to formulate on, then you'll never see that venture take fruition. And you'll never be your ultimate 100% version. I'm just now stepping into mine at 34. Just now. People have helped me to recognize it, though, way back when. And I've been practicing unconsciously for the past 15 years. But I'm actively practicing now. And part of it is with this podcast. That's why I never care how many viewers I get. Even though more viewers, better. But I'm not doing it for viewership. I'm doing it for practice. It doesn't matter what's happening right now. What matters is that I keep applying myself and practicing for the purpose that I know is destined for me. Because look, guys, if I keep living and this world keeps turning, I always say this. If I keep living and the world keeps turning, meaning we don't all blow up from a worldwide catastrophe, I'm going to step into my purpose. I know it. I'm going to get a call of breakthrough. I know it. And it may be a small call that leads to a bigger call, but that call's coming. I know it. I know it so much so that if I were to die right now and I had an unconscious with me as I'm traveling up, I would be thinking in my head or in my spiritual mind, I didn't think this was it. This can't be it. Because I believe that audaciously that there's something I'm going to step into and it's going to be bigger and more grand. And that's not me thinking optimally here. I don't have an optimal mind. I don't think positively, people. What my expressions produce are positivity. Yes, it can be taken like that, but I speak faithfully. That's what I believe. I think and I speak faithfully. I have certainty in the events not yet seen. That's faith. It's not positivity. It's not optimism. You can call it that. But I frame it as faith. I frame it as a visceral understanding in the events that I haven't yet seen or haven't taken place. I know they're in existence. I know they're in orchestration. I just have to keep living it out. I have to keep practicing my purpose. And I know it's going to unfold. I don't know when and I don't know how, but I know it's coming. Do you believe that same thing? Do you believe that there is something about you that's different, that's unique, that's characterized around you and only you, that no one else has, that no one else has a patent on? Do you believe that? Or do you just believe you were made for a 9 to 5? Not taking anything away from that. That's great. That might be your season right now. But do you believe that this is it for your life? Do you believe that? I hope you don't, because that's not the truth. That's the enemy coming in and trying to hold you down because he knows the talents that God's given you. And he also knows all of the delivering spirits you'll save if you reach your destiny. And he hates that. Do you believe that there's something in you? Do you believe there's more to you? I gotta believe that. I gotta believe it. That's what I'm holding on to right now. I wasn't meant to be just a trainer. I wasn't meant to be just a trainer. There's more to me than that. There's more to me than fitness. There's a connection within me and others. And I know that I can infect people in larger ways than just through fitness. But fitness is a platform that he's using me on right now to practice and to cultivate right now. So if I don't take heed, then I'm going to be missing out on an opportunity to get better. But it's not my only platform. It doesn't stop here. There's so much more, and there's so much more for you. But once you stop believing, you stop living.